All right, so everyone wants to be able to use a terminal and be cool hacker man, but when you look at somebody else using it, it looks like they're just spitting random letters onto a screen and then it does stuff. What the heck? What's going on? The good news is using a Unix-based terminal is actually a lot easier than most people would assume. And I'm not going to get into what Unix-based means other than the fact that if you have a Mac or you're running Linux, then you're good to go because those are Unix-based operating systems. You can just open your application launcher, search for it's probably called terminal or something like that, and you're good to go. If you're on Windows, you'll have to install an emulator like I've done here. I did that in my last video where I installed Bash, if you want to check that out. So if you haven't done that already, go ahead and knock it out and then come back. Okay, so for the first command, just trust me. When you open up a terminal, you'll be in what's called your home directory. What you want to do is type cd space and then desktop with a capital D, and then hit enter. And it looks like not much change. If you're particularly observant, you'll notice that this thing here changed a little bit. It says that now we're at the desktop. My cat wants to be in the video. Why don't you say hi, Duke? Look into the camera. Oh, he's such a good boy. You gonna stay on my lap? Okay. All right, so we CD'd to the desktop. What does that mean? Well, CD stands for change directory. And a directory is literally just a folder. They are exactly the same thing. So if we open up a File Explorer and we go to the desktop, right now, this File Explorer is looking at our desktop, just like how this terminal is looking at our desktop. They're both doing the exact same thing. So the concept of when you're in a File Explorer, you can only be in one folder at a time is exactly the same case for terminal. You are in one folder at a time. Right now, we are in our desktop, both in the terminal and the File Explorer. And of course, you know, this thing in the background is also our desktop. It's basically just a shortcut to anything in our desktop. Okay, so we learned one command, cd, that changes the directory. Cat is helping out again. Changes the directory that you're pointing at. It's exactly the same as if you're in the File Explorer and you go to different folders here. So if I go from my desktop to my downloads, I basically CD'd to my downloads. If I go back to my desktop, I CD'd back to my desktop. Okay. So that's the first command that you have to know in order to use a Unix terminal. cd, change directory, change folder. The next is just going to be ls, and that just means list. So if you run ls, it tells you everything that is in the folder that you're currently working in. So right now, there's basically nothing. There's this desktop.ini. That's just basically because of the emulator. If you have a completely clean desktop and you run ls, then it's going to show absolutely nothing. But if I create something, let's just use the normal way that you're probably used to. Let's make a new folder. So I'm going to go new folder, and let's just call this hello. So if we look in our File Explorer, which is still looking at the desktop, the hello folder has shown up. And if I run ls here again, we can see the hello folder is now here as well. So ls just lists whatever is in the directory you're working in. Okay, so we have two commands. cd, change directory, change folder, just changes what folder or directory the terminal is currently pointing at. And then ls lists whatever is in the folder you're currently in. Okay, so if we want to, we can cd into this hello directory, this hello folder that we just created. All we have to do is type cd space and then hello. And then once we hit enter, we are now in the hello folder. It's exactly the same as if we were in the File Explorer and we just double-clicked here. So if we ls here, there's nothing in here because this folder is empty. Make sense? So we have change directory and ls. What if we want to make a directory? We can do it just the way I showed you with the normal right-clicking and then new. You can, of course, do that in the File Explorer too, but we want to be cool hackers. So, third command, mkdir. These commands were basically made to be as short as possible so that you can just type them out really quickly. mkdir stands for make directory. So, I mean, of course, for most of us who are touch typists, typing out make directory like that is no problem. But once you get used to it, once you know what these commands are, typing mkdir is going to be a lot easier. Same with typing ls instead of list and cd instead of change directory. So to make a new directory using the terminal, you just type mkdir space and then the name of the directory. So I'm just going to call this tree. And let's move this over to the side so we can see this happening in real time. So in my File Explorer, I am in the hello folder, which is the same place I am in this terminal. So once I run this command, you can see that a folder called tree appeared on my computer. So running this command and doing the new folder, these do exactly the same thing. Okay, so let's cd into tree. You'll notice that I hit tab, which autocompletes for you. So if there's only one possibility for what your options could be, it'll save you some typing. So I'll show that again. So right now there's only the, let me make it so you can actually see it. It's only the tree directory here. So when I type cd, and if I hit tab, it knows that the only thing I could be cding into is this tree directory. So that saves you some typing. It's especially handy if you have very long file names. So now I'm in the tree directory. It's the exact same thing as if I just double click here. Let's create a regular file instead of a directory. The command for that is touch space and then whatever you want to call it. So let's create a file called leaf, and let's show it happening again in real time. So I'm going to hit enter here, and you'll see that a file called leaf appeared in this on my computer. So let's say we want to go back to where we were. I just did it a couple seconds ago, so you probably already know. But if you want to go up a folder, you type cd ... That just means go up one directory. So as we can see right now, we're in desktop, hello, tree. So if I go up one directory, I'll go from the tree directory to hello. So let's hit enter. We can see that that's where we are. That's the exact same thing as just going up one directory here. I'm going to run that again, cd ... and now I'm back on my desktop. So let's go back again. So if I want to show what's on my desktop, remember the command for that is ls. That says I have the hello directory. Let's make another one. Let's just call this one meme. So now if you can see that the meme folder appeared in the File Explorer too. So now if I ls, I have two directories. So I can cd. Now if I try to hit tab here, it's not going to autocomplete because I could be wanting to go into the hello directory or the meme directory. If you hit tab twice, it shows you your options. If I type the letter M, now it knows it has to be meme because that's the only thing that starts with M. So if I hit tab again, it autocompletes for me. And now I'm in the meme directory. So what if you can actually combine some commands. So like, let's say I wanted to go from the meme directory back to tree. So I have to go from, let's do this in the File Explorer first. I have to go from meme up one into desktop, and then down into hello, and then down into tree again. You can do that in just one command. You just have to basically, like, you can chain CDs together. So the way to do that is you write CD space. Now remember, we're in the meme directory right now. So we have to go up one directory first. So we're going to type ... because remember that takes us up one directory, /. That's how the terminal knows that we're separating directories. Now, so cd ... takes me up once. Now I'm on the desktop. If I just ran this, it would take me to the desktop. But I don't want to go there. I want to go down into the tree directory. So I'm going to go to hello, / because that's the end of this directory. We're going to go into another one. And then I want to go into tree. So I just write tree. And that works. So now we're in the tree directory. If you need a visual, you're in luck because you get to see my absolutely gorgeous art. So here's our directory tree as we've created. Remember at the very start I mentioned that when you first open a terminal, you're in what's called the home directory, and then we CD'd from there to the desktop. And then we went from the desktop to meme. Now we wanted to go from meme down into leaf. So actually let's do the reverse. Let's go from leaf up to meme now. So the first thing we'll have to do is go up one directory. So we'll type cd // that takes us from or excuse me, we were in tree, so if we do cd .. we'll go up to hello. Leaf is just this the text file we created. So cd .. will take us up to hello, and then we want to go back up to desktop and then down into meme. So if we do a .. again, we'd be at desktop, and then we want to go from desktop down into meme. So now we can just type meme and hit enter. That is the very basics of navigating your file system in the Unix terminal. So we learned 4 commands. There's cd, that's change directory, change folder, changes what the terminal is pointing at. You just cd and then you tell it where you want to move to. We learned ls, tells you what is currently in your directory. There's nothing in the meme directory right now, so it spits out nothing. There is mkdir, make directory, that just makes you a folder. Touch, that just makes you a blank file. We'll do a couple more commands. There's pwd, that means print working directory. That will just spit out the directory you're currently in. So if you'll notice on my machine, the thing it spits out is exactly the same as the thing right here. Depending on how yours is set up, it might not have the full, this is called the path. It might not have the full path. It might have just like the deepest folder you're in. So for example, if you followed me exactly, this might just say meme for you. So it's useful to know pwd to figure out exactly where you are. Obviously, when you have it set up like mine, it doesn't tell you anything because it's just exactly the same as what you have here. So you might be wondering, what is the point of all of this? Why would you do it this way instead of just using the file manager? And the truth is, from what I've shown you, it doesn't really offer anything that using a graphical interface or a file manager doesn't. But I'm going to show you a super kind of convoluted but quick example of how you can chain the Unix commands together to do things in seconds that would otherwise take hours. So let's create an example. So I'm just going to create a bunch of random files here. So whoops, if I could spell correctly. So let's just do touch, a touch, la touch, paint, I don't know, oh, can't spell, but whatever, touch, phone, touch book, touch plant, touch mouse, touch flash drive, touch keyboard. Okay, I think that's enough. So we created a whole bunch of files here. Just for the sake of argument, let's say I created hundreds and hundreds of files, and maybe somebody who doesn't like you very much gave you a busy assignment and said, I just want a text file of all the files in this directory. Now, if you wanted to do this a normal way, you'd say, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to open up a text editor, and then, whoa, Windows is trying to help me out, thank you. And then you'd say, okay, so I had to just type these out one by one. So there's A, there's blah, there's book, there's flash drive. And if you had hundreds of these files, this could take easily hours. But there's a way to do it in literally seconds. So if you notice, running the ls command actually gives us exactly what we want, right? It just gives us a list of all the files in this directory. So what I'm going to do is ls, one more command, the greater than symbol actually redirects the output from the previous command into something else. So what you can do is redirect this into a file. So I'm just going to ls greater than and then type list. So if the list file doesn't exist already, it's just going to create it for you. If I run this, it didn't. You'll see that it didn't print out the files in this directory like it did before. That's because the output of this went into a file called list. So let's just open up File Explorer again. We'll go back into the meme directory. We have a file called list here, and if we open this up, it has exactly what we want. So, and obviously this would work perfectly fine even if there were hundreds or thousands of files in this directory. So that's just one kind of convoluted, but hopefully you can start to see the power of the Unix terminal and how you can easily do things that would take hours or perhaps just be unrealistic for a human to ever accomplish, just instantly completed like that. Okay, let's do a quick review of what we learned. So the first command I taught you was cd, change directory. Remember, a directory is just a folder. So if we want to go up from the meme directory back to the desktop, we just type cd ... And then let's say we want to go back into the hello directory one more time. We just type cd space and then hello, the name of the directory we want to move into. We have mkdir that makes a directory, so I'll make one more directory. ls, which tells you what the contents of the directory you're currently in. So if I ls here, we have the tree directory we had before and the one directory. And then touch, of course, creates just a regular file. So I'll just, I was going to say touch u, and then I thought maybe not, but whatever. So I'll just create a file called u. So now we have the one directory, the tree directory, and then just a regular text file called u. I can't cd into u because it's not a directory, it's not a folder. And we have pwd, print working directory, which may be useful for you, it may not be, just depending on how your setup is. And then we have the redirect command. So if we let's pwd redirect that into u, that's going to spit out this path into the file called u. So let's just prove that that did indeed happen. Open this up. Of course, it didn't create a new file called u because there was one already there. This might be, can I zoom in easily on the, nope. Oh well. It might have to squint a little bit on YouTube, but you can see that it did indeed put the path, the current working directory, into this file. So next time somebody opens up a terminal and they just start being like cd ... slash, I don't know, what did I call it? You can actually hit tab, by the way, when you're CDing to see what your options are. So I can see, I can go into hello or meme from here. So let's go into meme, and then I can hit tab again. None of these are directories, they're just regular files, but it tells you what's in there. So yeah, that's a super basic tutorial on the Unix terminal and how to navigate the file system.